This is Naresh, and I'll be dealing with your MSBA sessions, okay?
Okay.
So I'm just going ahead and sharing in my screen. Okay, fine. Maybe I'll just start off with you. I just wanted to know, like, what is your background experience? And I also want to know. Yeah.
Database developer.
I'm sorry, yeah?
Database developer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're all very good with all the queries, writing stored procedures, triggers, functions, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm familiar. So, but I just wanted to expand in terms of SSIS and analysis services.
Okay, so you're mostly looking out for integration and analysis, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
And
I
also
think,
advanced reporting to an extent.
come again, advanced?
Reporting.
So you're also into basic reporting right now?
Yeah. Right now, yes.
Okay, so when you say advanced reporting, so what exactly are you looking in for?
Like right now, I do know how to create basic reports and all using SSRS.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd like to be more familiar with graphing and knowing
Graphing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making a note of the things. Okay, and you're also mostly interested into subscribing and all that stuff as well, right?
Yes.
Okay. Fine, I got it. And are you aware of configuring your report server and all that stuff?
Deploying, yeah.
Deploying is pretty much simple. It's straightforward.
Yeah.
Okay, onto a report or a web server.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fine, Nivedita. Anything else like you're looking out for in these sessions?
Yes, I'd like to concentrate on analysis services.
Okay, so is there any specific thing you are looking out for analysis? Of course, I'll be doing all the modules, but
I need to do this from the very beginning.
from the very beginning.
Yeah.
So you also do not have any idea on dimensionality and your data warehouse, right?
Yes. Data warehouse, data modeling.
Yeah, all those things are a part of your analysis.
Yes.
I get it. Okay, yeah, fine. Hey, hi Venkat. I'm audible to you?
Yeah. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, you're audible. Okay. Yeah, just wanted to know your background and like what exactly you're looking out for in the sessions.
I'm not familiar with the SQL Server. I know some of the Oracle and MS Access databases.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like to learn the SQL Server. I'm not sure how much I can learn from this class. It looks like this is mainly related to business intelligence.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Okay.
So you will be covering only the analysis part, right? Data analysis kind of. Okay.
The thing is mostly, okay, let me ask you a quick question here. What are the things that you do in Oracle and Access?
Creating stored procedures, functions, and designing the databases.
So when you say designing databases, do you perform like normalization for the tables?
Yes.
Or
Yes,
is it a capacity planning?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Okay. Do you do any capacity planning for the databases as well?
Capacity planning, no.
Okay. It's the basic normal DB design.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. I get it. Fine. Myself, this is Naresh here, and I have supported a skill product for a while with Microsoft, and right now I'm working as an individual consultant, and I do have a couple of clients like Western Union, Meditab, Pfizer. Okay, so I work them on a contract basis. Fine. And moving on to your MSBI part. Any questions? You are most welcome to ask me at any point of time. Okay. In case I don't hear, I'll just keep going and then I'll give you a couple of minutes for questions as well. Okay. So moving on to your MSBI, it's mostly 3 components. Everyone is aware of it. So when I say SSIS, it's called SQL Server Integration Services, and then you have analysis services, and then you have reporting services. Moving on to SSIS, this is an ETL tool. Okay, let me tell you why most of the business goes for the MSBI portions nowadays. Whenever you buy a SQL Server product from Microsoft, the BI components are free of cost. Okay, so your integration, reporting, and analysis come free of cost. You do not pay for them. Okay, so that's the reason people prefer to go with MSBI and give it a try, because it's coming free. So moving on to your SSIS, it's an ETL tool. When I say ETL, it's extract, transform, and load. Okay, so we are going to extract data from multiple data sources, make or modify the data, and then we are going to load it into the destinations. So the ETL has become, you can say, very much popular nowadays, because you cannot handle all the data in one single place. Nowadays the organizations have gone very big, and you have huge, enormous data which cannot be handled in a single location. So if I consider one organization, the HR data might be in SAP, and your sales data can be in a CRM, Microsoft CRM, and then you can have your financial data in Oracle or other departments in SQL. So your data across the organization is scattered. Okay, so whenever you want to push the data from one data source into the other data sources, we make use of SSIS. Okay, it's basically a ETL tool platform where you extract, do modifications to the data, and then dump it into the destinations. So the ETL tool makes life very easy, okay, in order to handle the data. So if some department wants, let me say X department wants data from the HR team, okay, their database is completely different. So they can simply run a ETL or an SSIS package and get the data there. Okay, so SSIS is, I can say, the core or the major portion of the BI. Okay, other things also have their importance, but without SSIS, your analysis and reporting would be nothing. Okay, because they will not be having the data.
So
No.
can I interrupt here?
Yeah, sure,
So,
sure. Go ahead.
SSIS, it's a tool, right? So there where we can create packages.
Yes, we call them as SSIS packages.
Okay, so what is the package here? Is it to stored procedure, or what's the package here?
Okay, the package would have, let me say, predefined components. Okay, so predefined components would be given by Microsoft when you install your integration services, and these predefined components would have some functionality. Let me tell you, for example, you want to copy a file. So there would be a already predefined component which you can just drag and drop in your package, which will do your functionality. So it's mostly automating the process. Okay, and then you will have a control flow. Okay, where you will design which thing has to be done first and what should be the next activity. So you have a package wherein you will be including multiple components, and each component will have a predefined function which you are going to configure as per the requirement. So that is what we will be discussing mostly. So what is the requirement and what is the component that I'll have to use.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, basically, for example, if you would like to extract data from one data source to other data source
Yeah.
in different format, for example, if you would like to extract data from SQL Server database to different format like Excel file or text file. So we define those components in this package. Okay.
You have a component called a data flow component. Okay. So the first one is a control flow and the next one would be a data flow. Okay. So in the control flow, you will have n number of steps like creating a file, copying a file, and then connecting to SQL, running a stored proc. You have multiple components there.
Okay.
Okay. And from there, you will have an inner component, which is a data flow, where you will define, okay, extract from this source and then do that. And in data flow, again, you'll have ODBC components, OLEDB components. Okay. So each ODBC is mostly used for Oracle and other non-Microsoft products, whereas an OLEDB is used mostly for Microsoft products. So we'll be discussing in detail like what is an ODBC connection, OLEDB connection, a file connection for Excel sheet and flat files, and the different forms of data available, structured, unstructured, semi-structured. So all this could be coming up. Okay, fine, Venkat.
Got it.
Okay, so that's about your SSIS, and what we will be doing with SSIS is initially I'll be telling you how to design a package, build a package, deploy a package, and schedule a package. Okay, so once we design the requirement and then we are going to build and deploy it. Okay, build and deploy go in a single step, okay, or in the same design. Later, I want that particular data extract to happen like every 1 hour or every day. Then I'm going to schedule it. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to schedule an SSIS package and automate the complete process. So instead of doing the data extractions and data dumpings or data loads manually, okay, we'll just schedule it and the automation would automatically take care of the entire process. Okay, fine. So this is about your SSIS, and I'll be mostly making use of SQL Server as my source. Okay. And the destinations would be varying, starting from flat files, Excel sheets. Of course, I do not have any Oracle installed. Okay, since I am pure a Microsoft guy, I do have a basic knowledge on Oracle and other data sources. Okay, but as an SSIS developer or an SSIS package creator, you need not worry about the data sources. So whatever is the data source, they'll be giving you all the details in the form of a document. Okay, where you'll have your login ID, password, and all the configuration details you have to enter. Okay, so you can just like forget about your sources and destinations because they can be least bothered. Okay, but mostly in our day-to-day sessions, I'll be using SQL Server as a source, wherein I'll be writing a couple of queries and stored procs in order to extract the data from. Of course, the destinations would be varying, and of course, I'll be showing you how to use Oracle, Access, even an Excel sheet or a flat file as a source. Okay, I'll be showing you them also. Okay, so that's about your SSIS, and of course you have got n number of components, and we'll be covering in all the components. Okay. So any question or any query?
Yeah. Are you covering in this course? Are you covering data warehouse concepts, data mining, data marts?
Yeah, that will be coming as part of your analysis services.
Okay.
Okay, so this is basic SSIS. Okay, so once you know how to configure a couple of components, the other components will be pretty much simple.
Will you be giving real-time scenarios and all that?
Yes. I'll be also giving you a sample packages. Okay. Or else if you have got some requirement, I can implement it and show it to you.
Okay.
Okay. So there will be some standard sample packages like package used for loading a data warehouse and all that stuff. Of course, they are all Microsoft sample packages that we would be going through, where I'll be, okay. Apart from that also, I'll be giving you like a couple of business requirements, and we will all work together and create a SSIS package. Okay. So you can also negotiate with me like why are you going only with this component? Why this component cannot be used? So I'll be giving you those scenarios as well, okay?
Okay.
See, you have multiple components and a requirement can be fulfilled or can be implemented in multiple ways. Okay, so we'll just discuss and I'll also tell you what is the best way of doing it. Okay.
Okay. I have a question. So,
Yeah.
to work with the data or to practice, are we connecting to your SQL server, or will we be working on whatever SQL server we install on our local PCs?
Fine. What I'll do is the next session I think installation should not be an issue with you, but in case you have issues installing the SQL server, I'll help you out. Okay, just drop me an email and we can just work on it. So in the next session, what I'll do is I'll just perform a SQL installation, and then I'll show you how to configure default databases. Okay. So there are a couple of default databases. I'll even tell you from where exactly you'll have to download the installer file. So nothing much to worry on that. Okay.
So we will be working with Microsoft sample databases, or
Yes.
okay.
You're right. We'll be working with AdventureWorks, which is a sample Microsoft database. Actually, you have multiple databases in that. You have OLTP databases and then you have OLAP databases. OLTP is something where you use for integration services. We call it as online transactional processing, and OLAP would be online analytical processing. Okay. So one is used for integration, the other is used for analysis, and both can be used for reporting. So you need not worry much. And you also have data pertaining to sales domain. So most of the discussions would be revolving around your sales domain. Okay.
Will we be taught about SharePoint at least briefly? Because
No. Yeah, let me be clear here. SharePoint is something completely different from the BI. Okay. So what has Microsoft done is SharePoint is a completely different product where you can embed your reporting analysis services.
yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to show you how to configure a reporting services suitable for your SharePoint. In case, for example, you get a requirement saying that I need a reporting server configured for my SharePoint. Okay, I'll be showing you that option.
Okay. And how about publishing reports and all?
Yeah, publishing reports is pretty much simple. Once you deploy, okay, coming on to the publishing, you have like push and pull. Okay, so pushing is you push the mail, you publish your mail into their mailboxes, or you push it into a shared folder, or else you push your report onto a web server. Okay, from where the user can see it. So we have pushing subscription, or you can say publication, and the other one is like pulling. So the users pull it from a shared folder or they pull it from a URL. Okay.
Yeah.
So don't worry, that will be a part of your subscriptions.
Okay.
So we can publish these reports to SharePoint also, right?
No.
No? Okay.
It will be a pull publication wherein the SharePoint admin has to pull from wherever we have put our reports.
Gotcha.
Okay. So that will not be a part of SSRS, that will be a part of SharePoint. But I will be telling you the features of how to configure your reports and report servers suitable for your SharePoint. Okay, if those settings are not proper in the reporting services, your SharePoint will not be able to identify them. Okay, so actually in reporting services you have a native mode and then you have a SharePoint mode. So whenever you go with .NET, Java, any other front-end application, we mostly configure the report server with a native mode. Okay, that will be a basic URL concept. But whereas if you want to integrate with your SharePoint, you have a SharePoint mode separately defined, wherein you'll have to select that particular option, and all your reports would be SharePoint compatible.
Okay.
Okay. So that's pretty simple, nothing much to worry. But in case if you have a SharePoint from your end, definitely I can show it to you. but installing all those softwares would not be a good idea from my end actually.
Okay.
Okay, fine. And moving on to your analysis services. So here what I'll be doing is I'll be doing the basics of data warehouse and then data marts. Okay, and then I'll be telling you what is the star schema, snowflake schema, what is the dimension, what is the hierarchy, what is an attribute. So I'll be covering up all the basics of data warehousing, and I'll be also giving you some of the OLAP concepts. So what is the difference between an OLTP, OLAP, and of course, we actually move from OLTP to OLAP. Okay, it's from transactional to analytical. Okay, so wherein I'll be giving you all the OLAP concepts, and then I'll tell you the cube creation. Okay, and then I'll be giving you all the things like calculations, and then measures, and then we will discuss on you do have KPIs, key performance indicators. So how do I analyze my business is going to improve? Mostly the key performance indicator would be profit. Okay, I'm giving you a definition in very basic layman terms. So most of the business, when I say key performance indicator, I can say profit. Okay, so depending on the profit, I can justify or I can analyze how my business is doing. But of course, there will be several other key performance indicators of analyzing your data. Okay, so we'll be discussing that, and then we'll be discussing data mining. Okay, and I'll be also discussing the different algorithms. Okay, and after data mining, I'll tell you how to deploy the cube, and then how to access the cube. Okay, and after this is done, for example, let me tell you a single point here. Your cube has to be refreshed on a daily basis, or on a weekly basis, or a monthly basis, depending on your business requirement. Okay, so I'm going to show you how you can refresh your cube, and then how to schedule it. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the most important part in a real-time scenario. Of course, all these are minimum basic requirements for your analysis, design, and development. But whereas this is mostly the scheduling is an admin part, I can say. But of course, but this is what would be the business would be requiring from us. Okay, scheduling the cube refresh. That means every day you will have to refresh the cube with the fresh data that comes into your data warehouse. Okay, initially I'll be building my cube with from the data from my data warehouse. Okay, and let me say my data warehouse is being dumped on a daily basis. Then I'll have to refresh the cube on a daily basis, because the results would be varying from day to day as my data gets loaded freshly. Okay, so that is one thing I'll.
Sorry, Naresh. What is cube?
Okay, it's a multi-dimensional component. Okay, similar to your table.
Okay.
In a normal 2-dimension, you have a table, right?
Right.
In your databases, whether it's Oracle or SQL. But whereas in analysis services, the cube is the basic form of data, such as your table.
Okay.
Okay. In table, you have just rows and columns, whereas in cubes, it's a multi-dimensional table, you can say. Okay. So, and the maximum number of dimensions you can go in Microsoft Analysis Services is 256 dimensions.
Okay.
Okay. But it's basically a component which contains data, that's it.
Okay. Can you give me one example with more than 2 dimensions?
Okay. Fine. In a table you just have rows and columns. For a cube you will have multiple measures and multiple dimensions. So let me just give you a small example. For example, if I ask you a question, if I give you a requirement, collect the number of students or give me the list of students who have got greater than 90 marks. So we will just write a query putting a where clause where total marks greater than 90. Okay, but whereas in a cube, you can write an MDX query. Okay, I'll just give you a requirement. Give me the number of students who have got more than 70 marks in English, okay, 80 marks in maths, 85 marks in science, okay, and total marks greater than 90. So what do we do in a normal stuff? We put an AND clause, and then or else you can go with nested queries or a subqueries. Okay, but whereas in a queue, you can have English as one dimension, maths as another dimension, science as another dimension, and total marks as another dimension. Okay, so everything would come up in a single query. Okay.
Okay. Probably when we start practically seeing the example, then
I can give you another example. Fine. I want my total profit. Okay, in dollars, pounds, and euros. Let me say. Okay, you'll have to write a complex statement if you go for is equal. Whereas in a cube, it's pretty much simple. You just present it on 3 dimensions, and it's clearly visible to the customer.
Okay. Okay.
You're getting my point?
Yeah.
Yeah. That means you have only x-axis and y-axis if you graphically look into a SQL Server table or any other normal table. But when you look into a cube, you have multi-dimensions. You have multiple axes where you can show your data and represent the data. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's about your analysis services. Any questions or any queries on this? Just let me know. Fine. Manikandan has joined us. Manikandan, I just wanted to know a brief introduction about you and what exactly you are looking in for in the sessions. So moving on to our reporting services. Okay. Now, I'll tell you how to configure a reporting server. Okay. And in the next portion, I'll be telling you the design of reports. Okay. And here I'll be dealing with multiple reports. And later, it's all basic. Reporting services doesn't need you for much knowledge. It's more or less similar to your PowerPoint or managing an Excel sheet. Okay. So I'll tell you how to design your reports, and then I'll tell you how to make use of your parameters, and then I'll tell you how to query a report, and then you have nested reports. Okay, or else you can say sub reports, whatever you feel like. And then you have a very special feature in this. Okay, where okay, yeah, let's just discuss that. So nested reports, and then you have I'll tell you how to format your report. Okay, so you can embed images, you can embed your company logos. Okay, so you can design. I'll be telling you how to format a very commercial report. Okay, which can be published to millions of your company users. Okay, so formatting is more or less your painting thing or Office Word. Okay, so nothing much. It's more or less the same concept that Microsoft has used here. After formatting your reports, it will be build and deploy the reports. Okay, then I'll be telling you how to implement your graphs, and then your chats, and after this, okay, your speedometers and then your dashboard also is a part of your graph. Okay, so I'll be also telling you how to design a dashboard. Okay, so in the dashboard, it will be continuously reporting how your business is performing. Okay, so that will be also a part of your graph. And after this, we will go with your subscriptions. Okay, so that's about your reporting services. So in subscription, I'll be telling you how to subscribe a report. Okay, and then your push and pull, and your subscription also would come along with scheduling. Okay. So how do we schedule a report? So we have a business requirement stating that your manager needs your report in his or her mailbox by 8 a.m. in the morning. Okay, so you'll have to schedule that subscription. So I'll be just telling you how to subscribe it and push it into the mailbox sharp at 8 a.m. Okay, and it must contain the data up till 12 a.m. that day morning. Okay, so you'll have those types of bit complex business requirements. Okay, but they are pretty much simple to implement. Okay, reporting services, I don't find it very tough. Okay, the only thing you'll have to know is where exactly to find the option and how to implement it. So it is very as simple as Office, but the only thing people don't find in reporting services is where exactly should I go for this particular option. That's it. Okay. Your SSIS is a bit complicated because you have a number of things to learn. Okay. Once you are thorough with SSIS, your analysis is a completely different concept, which will be pretty new for most of you. And your reporting services is more or less an Office. I don't feel any complicated things in that. The only thing would be right click, drag and drops in your reporting services and then adjusting as per the format. Okay. And subscriptions and scheduling is more or less right clicks, nothing much. But the only thing is you'll have to know what option has to be used when and how. Okay. So any questions, any queries?
So I have a question. So when we install SQL Server, does it come with all these three things, SSIS, SSAS, and SSRS server?
Yes, it comes.
They come, okay. So when we install SQL Server, do we have to select this separately, or
I'm not
is it a custom selection, or is it optional in SQL Server, or
it's optional. It's optional.
optional? Okay, so we have to select when we install SQL Server.
Yeah, if you look in a real-time scenario, your database engine would be separate and your analysis services would be separate. I mean to say on two different boxes.
Oh, okay.
Right? So depending on the performance, for example, let me say even your reporting server also would be on a different box altogether. Okay, the reason being it depends on the number of users the analysis services or reporting services are being used.
Right.
Okay, so but in case I have, let me say, like 10,000 users, I can have everything on the same box. It doesn't make much difference for me. Okay. Of course, your BI has gone to a very great extent, wherein you can have a clustering also for your analysis and reporting services. For example, if one of my server goes down, I have a standby server also.
Are you familiar with the Cognos?
No, not really. I just remember Excel sheets when someone says on about Cognos actually.
Because there also we can create cubes kind of things, cubes and reports.
Actually, Cube is mostly analysis and reporting tool.
Right. So
let me tell you, Informatica is an SSIS, is similar to SSIS, and Cognos is similar to analysis and reporting. And then you have Crystal Report similar to SSRS. Okay. And then you have data staging, where it's again similar to your SSIS. So there are several other tools also in the market which are similar to your integration, analysis and reporting.
Okay.
Okay, but which component is going to be employed by the customer is something that makes the difference. right? So any other questions or queries you have got?
Performance point of view, um, roughly, can you tell me how long would it take to generate a report out of 1 million records? Out of 1 million records, if I would like to pull some, maybe 10,000 records report, I know different factors affect on this, but roughly.
Yeah, okay. Fine. See, designing a report from 100 million records also will not be a big issue for your report server. Okay. The reason being, whenever you speak of a real-time scenario, you'll be using a very enormous or a big server with huge capacity. Let me say your servers would be of the minimum 32 GB or 64 GB RAM. Of course, I've seen servers even with 256 GB of RAM. Okay. So you'll be using a high-end server there, and your processing speed you'll be going with quad cores. Okay. And then you also have your fiber connectivity between your SAN disks or hard disk, whatever you say, and your processor. Okay. But the thing that matters here is how is your query performing? For example, if I want to generate a report, I will be writing in a query. So the report performance is directly depending on your query performance. If the query can fetch the 100 million records in 1 second, the report generation would be done in, let me say, 5-6 seconds.
Okay.
Okay. So it all depends how your query is being fine-tuned. So where exactly is the performance now? The performance is exactly at your data source. So if I'm running a query against the SQL server, the SQL server performance has an impact on my reporting server. Of course, arranging the 100 million records does take time. That's the reason I have told you. If your query takes 1 second to just retrieve the complete data, your report server, depending on the RAM capacity and then the connectivity between your hard disk and the processor speed, it may take about like 3-4 seconds.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So one more thing is, you said we can create dashboards in SQL Server.
Yes, yes.
Right. So those dashboards, how end user can see the dashboard? Do they need to install SQL Server, or can they see dashboards using web pages?
Actually, it's through a web.
Through web.
Dashboards are mostly through a web, and of course, what people do generally is in organizations after the report has been deployed to the web. Okay. And it can be also called directly into your SharePoint. So how, as a reporting services developer, we publish the dashboard as a URL.
Okay.
So a dashboard would be published, okay, as an URL. And this URL can be used in a console application or a Windows application or in a SharePoint.
Right. So the end user, using the URL, the end user will see different buttons.
Yeah.
Based on their required report.
Yeah, he'll be seeing it. And let me tell you, the dashboard would be mostly a static kind of thing until and unless it is continuously refreshed with the new data.
Okay.
You got my point, right?
Yeah.
So it can be on a every minute basis, but that is very rare in a real-time scenario. Okay, it's mostly an hourly basis. So whenever your data is refreshed on an hourly basis, okay, your dashboard would be looking different with the new values.
Okay.
Okay, because your underlying data is not changing continuously, your dashboard also does not change continuously. Okay, but whereas the dashboard of a car automatically changes, showing you different things, right? It's not a similar kind of thing with your reporting services dashboard. They are mostly static and they mostly depend on the underlying data. Okay? Yeah, Nivedita, Manikandan, do you have any questions or queries?
So for reports, do we write SQL statements or do we use query wizard kind of thing to build?
Actually, you do have a graphical query editor also, okay, which makes you build your queries instantly and graphically. Just drag and drop a table, and then you can even drag and drop a column and then say, I want this is greater or less than. But the most and the easiest way a developer can do is write a query against the data source you are hitting. For example, I'm using or I'm pulling data from a SQL server. I write a SQL server query. If I'm pulling in from an Oracle, I write a PLSQL query. Okay. Whatever it is, you have a graphical designer, so nothing much to worry. So whatever is your data source, your query designer would help you out with that. In case you are not aware.
Right.
So
So
speaking of
security.
querying,
Sorry.
yeah, so speaking of querying, we'll be going over MDX syntax and all, right?
Actually, yes. I'll be telling you the MDX queries, but I'll not be completely detailing on the MDX. But yes. So, anyway, coming to your question, yes, we will be doing MDX queries as part of your accessing the queue.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you access your queue? It's via your MDX queries. Okay, so nothing much to worry. I'll be covering the MDX queries in here.
Okay, and also integrating SSAS with reporting using cubes and things like that.
Actually, yes, that's what I'm saying. Whenever we build a report, we can query against a SQL server or else we can query against a queue. And when you are querying against a queue, you will have to make use of MDX query. And when you are querying a SQL server, it's a normal TSQL. And if you are hitting a Oracle server, then you go with PLSQL.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
MDX?
Fine. It's multidimensional XML query.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So if you see underlying components, everything is in XML. So your cube itself is an XML component internally.
Okay.
Okay. Because XML is the only platform where your data can be presented in multi-dimensions. Okay. So I'll show you that also. So I'll show you how your cube is stored. It's purely an XML format stored in a folder. Fine. And one more thing. I'll be dealing all this on SQL Server 2008. Okay. But I have no issues even taking up the integration analysis and reporting on SQL 2012 also.
Yeah.
So just wanted to know, like, what is that you people want?
We
You
are
wanted to go? Yeah.
So I'm good with 2008.
Now the reason is, of course, I can show you 2012 also, but it has got really completely new features, and your reporting services would be completely different from 2008. Not in all aspects, in a couple of aspects. So, but what exactly people are implementing in a real-time scenario makes a difference here for reporting services. But of course, integration and analysis, you have got a couple of new features in 2012, which can be discussed. That's not a big problem already here. But what's presently used is SQL 2008 R2 that is being used. So it's up to you. I have no issues taking up the same things on 2012 or 2008 R2. But I just want you people to finalize the things. So I'm finalizing it to go with 2008 R2.
But if we like need to know the updates, then
Definitely, I'll be telling you the new features, okay, at the end of the session. Okay, when I say end of the session, once I finish my SSIS components, all this stuff, then I'll just show you what are the new features that came up in SQL 2012 and we'll have a discussion on them, okay. But I'll not be able to show you practically. Let me just give it a try if I can install a SQL 2012 evaluation version also. So how I'll be dealing with your sessions is, I'll be giving you the basics, which will be a theory portion, okay. And then I'll be showing you the practice part. Okay, so we'll have a hands-on. Okay, and then we will have a troubleshooting stuff. Of course, you need not worry. I'll be running across several errors while designing exercise packages and all that stuff. Okay, so I'll be showing you how to troubleshoot and correct them also. So this is how I'll be doing. So the first one would be basic theory. I'll tell you what the component is or whatever. I'll be giving you the concepts, and then I'll show you practically as a hands-on, and then we will troubleshoot in case of any errors. And then I'll be taking any other questions, okay, and along with it I'll be giving you real-time scenarios. So that is how we'll be doing each of the concepts. Okay. So I'm finalizing it to be SQL 2008 R2. I'll be showing you all the components, and apart from that, I'll be discussing the new features of 2012. And just wanted to know, mostly I have my sessions 1 hour daily. Okay, that will be from 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Is that okay with all of you?
Right. How many days in a week?
Mostly I would go with 5 days a week, but if you're okay, I would also go with 6th day. Sunday would be an off.
Right.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Of course, your session can extend up to like 1 hour 15 minutes, not more than that, depending on the concept that we are discussing. If we have to extend a bit like 10-15 minutes, we would be extending, but not more than that.
For any reason, if anybody misses one class, then how it will be covered?
The sessions would be recorded and you can get it from there.
Okay.
Okay.
Will you be providing material also, apart from this?
Yes, I will be providing you the PDF files.
Okay.
Okay. So you can just go through them.
So this is like 35 sessions, right?
Yeah, it will be like 35 to 40 sessions.
Okay.
Okay, depending on the duration. Like a couple of days, it might extend even to like 90-minute sessions because the concept is a bit lengthier and has to be finished. So there I'll be actually covering up time. So it's mostly like I can say less than 40 sessions I can say.
Okay.
35 to 40 sessions, okay?
So basically this is a 6 to 7 weeks course.
Yeah, yeah.
Depends on the number of days in a week. Okay.
Huh.
Okay, sounds great.
Okay. So any other queries, questions? So initially like it will be 5 days a week until we pick up our pace. Okay. So for the first week and later depending upon our convenience it will be like 6 days a week. Okay.
Okay.
So in this course we will not be creating any procedures, functions kind of thing, right? We will be using only directly tables or flat files or queries,
Yes.
kind of thing. Okay.
Yeah, 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 right. We will not be writing any stored procs.
Right. Okay.
Actually, we will be making use of the stored procs that are already written, or else if you want to write a simple stored proc, something like about like 10-20 lines of program code, yes, we can do that. I think I'm done from my end. Any questions or queries you have, you can just feel free to ask me. Okay then, I think someone would just get in touch with you and discuss on the next schedule, okay?
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks so much.
Okay. Okay, thanks and welcome. Yeah.
Bye.
Have a good night. Yeah, bye.
Bye.